It's Monday, troopers. And if you were someone who was saying, I'll start on Monday, I'll start tomorrow, today is tomorrow. Today is Monday. And there's going to be three different type of people who watch this video. First group, you're already knocked your workout. You're already done. You already did it. Great job. Keep it up. Keep it going. Maybe you're using the workouts on this channel. Awesome. Tip of the cap to you. And now, a couple of you, the other two groups, are going to be at a crossroads. Will you do it or will you not? Maybe you got plans to do it later today. Maybe you don't have any plans to do it today and you're kind of thinking, it'd be nice to, but it's not that bad. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story. And I got a 5-month-old. He's almost 6 months now. His name is Rafe. And the last weekend, the wife went on girls' trip. And so it was solo dad duty. I was like Mando and Grogu, just walking around Seattle and Magnolia, just having the best time, having adventures. Literally threw him in the stroller, and I felt like, it was the Mandalorian, season 1, episode 1, out on an adventure. He was in his little pram. And as I was watching him sleep, I started to get choked up, and I just looked at him and I was like, man, I would do anything for this little guy, much like Mando. He's a cold-hearted bounty hunter, gets this little dude, and all of a sudden he wants to protect him. He wants to provide for him. And that urge that I was worried wouldn't be there before I had a kid is 100% there. I'm full on obsessed with him, want to do anything. And a lot of dads will say the same. My first challenge for you is, would you be willing to get healthy? Right? Because if you want to spend more time with them and the quality of time with them being high quality, you got to get healthy, got to take care of your health, got to lose the weight. And we'll talk about that a little bit more with some numbers. But I just looked at it and I was like, man, what do I need to learn from a skill set standpoint? What habits do I need to develop? What habits do I need to break in order to be the best dad that I can be for this guy? So that's my first little bit of advice for you. If you are not sure about what your vision is for 2025, ask yourself, what version of myself do I want to be going into 2026? And the more clear you can be with that, the more likely it is that it is going to happen, because then you have a very clear representation of what habits you're trying to create. That's why I'm such a big proponent on this channel of creating an alter ego. If I say, what would Captain Rex do? Or what would Captain America do? I have a very clear series of movies and shows that demonstrate how that character would act. And so if I want to develop those character traits and I want to have integrity, or I want to be a leader, or I want to have hard work, well, I know what it looks like. And you might not be into superhero movies or Star Wars, but you've got father figures in your life. You've got celebrities. You've got people that you look up to. Could be your brother, could be an athlete, whatever. Say, what would that person do if you're trying to be more like them from a character and skill set standpoint? So I was looking at Rafe and I was just like, man, what kind of dad would I need to be? And I started to get choked up just thinking about little habits that aren't that bad right now, but if I don't change them, could it potentially put me at risk to not be that dad? And what you got to do, if you are this person that is maybe not, we're going to work out, maybe going to work out, you're still on the fence, maybe you were in that first bucket and you plan on sticking with it, but odds are you won't. 88% of people don't. That's just numbers. I believe in you. If you follow the workouts on this channel, it'll very much happen. But you got to be able to just ask yourself, what happens if I don't change? And allow your mind to have a bit of an imagination. And yeah, it's not that bad right now. But what happens if it gets worse? Because pre-hypertension isn't that bad until it's hypertension. Hypertension isn't that bad until it's a heart attack. A heart attack isn't that bad until you pass away at 45, right? And you can go down the same path in your career. I work with a lot of military guys. Getting taped isn't that bad. Barely passing your PT test isn't that bad, right? I'm kind of fit. Well, kind of gets that bad when you get passed up for a promotion because no one wants to follow someone who doesn't hold a high set of standards. It's kind of that bad when you lose your rank because you've missed your PT test enough times. It's kind of that bad when someone gets hurt, or even worse, dies because you're not fit for the line of duty, or even just carrying around simple supplies. And so it always starts out as not that, but then it gets that bad. And you got to have the imagination of, man, what happens if it gets that bad? And then that bad created against the line of who I want to become, That's the tension that you're missing. So many people say, I need motivation. What you need is actually deprivation. You can get deprivation mentally by comparing yourself to the version of yourself that you want to be and the version of yourself that you are now. You can get deprivation by surrounding yourself with people that have a higher standard, that prioritize fitness. This isn't saying that you got to give up, the parts of you that enjoy hobbies. I enjoy hobbies very much. I got some Pokemon cards this last weekend, but it's not going to get in the way of me getting my workout this morning at 6 a.m. And if it is getting in the way, then that's where you got to recognize, maybe this is something that I need to pull back on. And if you've set a bunch of goals for this year, you also need to realize in order to create space for this new habit, something else needs to go. There's a really good rule in minimalism called the 1-in-1 rule, where for everything you buy, you got to get rid of something else because you only have so many hours in the day. So if you're someone that says, I don't have any time, I'm too busy, well, you got to get rid of stuff to get unbusy so that you can prioritize your health with your time. So I'm going to give you a little bit of tip if you are someone who is like, all right, I want to take action, but I don't know necessarily what to do. And again, one of the biggest things that will impact the action threshold is not having a clear action path. So what I want to do is give you a very clear action path on this channel. I can't even display all the series that I have anymore because YouTube's like, you can only share 7 or 8. There are plenty of workouts for you to start doing. If you just want to start with body weight, this is the most popular one, Cadet 1.0. Had people lose 60, 70 pounds in a year and a half, just following Cadet 1.0, 501st Trooper, and ARC Trooper. And that's how it's designed to go from a cadet, go to basic, 501st Squad, go to an advanced Recon Commando. Maybe you're more of a bounty hunter. There's bounty hunter workouts. Maybe you're more of a Sith or a Jedi. There's all of that here for you. The other thing that I would say is Way the Force Be With You is one of the first videos I ever made. This is 4 recipes for protein shakes. Make these, have them once a day. At this point, you have your workouts done for the year and you know what you're having for 1/3 of the day. You've already solved a lot of the problems that most people don't have. There's a number of other pieces of content on this channel. And if you're wondering, well, does this work? Well, this has worked not only for the tens of thousands of people that have created amazing results on this channel, but over the last 7 years, I've worked with 500 plus individuals. In the last 2 years, especially, I worked specifically with Star Wars nerds looking to lose weight. And we had 12 people lose over 50 pounds just last year. And these aren't gym rats. These are everyday people just getting after it. It's a very simple gamified system. And so if you are someone who's now like, all right, still not convinced, I'm going to give you one last thing. It's from a presentation I did in a challenge. 66% of American adults use prescription drugs based on the CDC. Most commonly used drugs are going to be high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, mental health conditions, and pain management. I'd say about 90% of that is preventable. Total US healthcare, 4.3 trillion. For comparison, the US alone accounts for over 40% of that, which is insane. 70 to 75% of Americans may be on prescription drugs by 2030, which again is preventable, which something that you spend money on that you don't need to. The average healthcare expenditure for someone on high blood pressure medications, including all the checkups and everything else, is $2,000 a year. Just fixing that will save you $10,000 in 5 years. I would argue more when you look at opportunity costs. 75% of the US is overweight or obese, which is the leading risk factor in heart disease. 1 in 3 US adults have prediabetes. 80% aren't aware of it. Of the 1/3, 1 in 5 are within a healthy weight. This is one that I hammered on this training a little while ago. And it's that people will say, oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm 33, 34, 35 in the BMI category. I'm obese or I'm overweight, but I don't have any health concerns. But they haven't gone to the doctor in the last year, 2 years, 3 years. So they have no way of knowing if they actually are. Ignorance is not bliss in this situation. Your heart, your arteries don't care if you don't think you are. There's just science and reality, and there's fact. The other part of this, too, is that you're just flirting with fire at that point. Like, what do you think happens before you develop those things? It's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's not that bad, right? You say it's not that bad. The ivy in the backyard, oh, it's not that bad. 2 years later, it's overrun the tree. The relationship that you thought was going really well. You're like, ah, it's not that bad. She'll get over it. All of a sudden you break up. Oh, it's that bad, right? That job that you lost. Oh, it's not that bad. I can skip Friday and you get let go. Oh, it's that bad. Like, everything gets that bad after it's not that bad unless you take action. The last one here, high blood pressure. 70% of Americans get high blood pressure, according to the USC report in 2023. Blood pressure is key risk factor for heart disease. Heart disease is responsible for 1 in 5 deaths, 700,000 in 2022. It's only going to be higher in 2025. And the last thing I'll say with that too is we shut down the entire country for something that was 600,000 a year. So put that a little bit into perspective. The entire system in the US especially is rigged to work against you. And here's the thing. There's going to be people that watch this that just don't do it, and you need it to get worse. You need to get heavier. You need to have a harder time tying on your shoes. You need to get worse health prognosis from your doctor. You need to get divorced. You need, to have your back go out to where all of a sudden you can't walk, and then you'll take it serious. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but for some of you, you're just playing with fire. Stop playing with fire. And so, like I said, there's going to be 3 people on this call. One group of people have already worked out. Second group are going to watch this and be like, yeah, I should work out. My life depends on it. The life that I want to live depends on it. And then there's going to be a third of you that, best of luck next year. I don't want that for you, but maybe you do just need to become more unhappy and sicker and have worse mental health, and then you'll make a change. I hope that doesn't come to that case, but just keep kicking the can down the road. I'm sure it'll work great for you. Outside of that, the plan is actually to do these every single day. So we're going to do a live in the morning after I do my workouts. I'm filming Django Fett for Fit Nerd Academy. If you're not familiar with that, that's the private community of people that I work with. Kai was one of the first members. He was an Alpha Squad, first company. So essentially, my team and I, we work with clients one-on-one on their training, nutrition, and really make sure everything is tailored to them so they don't need to think about everything. And then we've got 300 plus workouts that they can follow along to so that they've got something that is kind of a backup plan, and they're all Star Wars themed. So it's really fun. You'll have lifetime access to that. We do personalized helmets. We do gamification, monthly challenges, and it's all designed to make fitness fun, accessible. And like I said, we had 12 people lose over 50 pounds last year, helped hundreds of people lose 20 plus pounds in just 12 to 16 weeks. It's awesome. If that's something that you're really into, link's going to be down in the description. If you want to just keep kicking, some Star Wars workouts around, keep using the channel, and hope to see you on the next video. This is CT3939. Used to have a banner. I don't know where it went. That was my alter ego when this was the Trooper Transmission. Signing out. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.